guys, it's Lynn again with Little Fit Nursery. I am here with baby Ellia, and I wanted to do a video just continuing on the topic I was talking about in my last video, and just about really what is a fair way to buy and sell. I started to talk a little bit about this, and then I think I got a little bit, I went on a little bit of a tangent during that video, but I thought about this just because recently, as I was selling Kylie, who's my Natalie by Izzy Zhao, I had so many inquiries come in at once. And of course it was really overwhelming because they were all, they came in, like I would log in and there were so many emails all, kind of all at once. And when you're selling a silicone baby, is the etiquette that you just go in order of who contacted you first? The only challenge is, what happens is you quote a price and then the person may take a while to get back to you, if they even get back to you at all. There were quite a few people who inquired where they asked me how much Kylie was, and I mentioned the price, and then I literally never heard back from them again. So it was really hard to know who was serious, who wasn't serious. And then besides that, of course, most of the people who messaged me, I did not know who they were. So then how do you know who's reputable? How can you avoid getting scammed? So I think this is an important topic because I feel like there's a lot of fear right now in the doll community. There's so many kind of new people who have discovered the hobby. And I think when a hobby gets popular, scamming increases as well. So anyway, I'm going to chat about this. I'm going to change Ellia into this really cute pink, it's kind of a two-piece. There are these kind of blue baby bloomers with a cute ruffle on the back, and then this top. I think this is newborn size. It looks a little large on her, but I think it'll probably fit. I feel like the two-piece outfits, there's a little more flexibility. So I'm going to finally change her out of her Easter outfit. And so yeah, I don't know, like, what is the best way, what is the best way to sell, and what is the way that's fair but also is going to protect you as the seller. And so I guess, like, probably the most fair way, oh my gosh, hi Ellia, she's so cute. What a sweetheart. The most fair way, I think that, I think most of us would agree, is by auction, because everybody has a fair chance, and really the highest price wins out at the end. So why don't everybody just sell on eBay? And, I guess that there's the issue of, eBay has a lot of challenges these days too. There are non-paying bidders, plus eBay takes a hefty portion of the final sale price of the doll. That's no surprise, right? I think they take 10% of the final sales price, so it's a big chunk to lose up front on your sale price. So there's that. Plus, you don't know. You could definitely get scammed on eBay, I guess, because eBay definitely favors the buyer more than the seller. eBay has buyer protection, but for sellers, there are horror stories, obviously, and I guess this goes with just selling a doll, period, right? Of people paying for the doll and then, either like claiming a chargeback that the purchase was never authorized, either that or I've even heard of situations where, let's say it was an expensive doll, they claimed that the doll that they received was not the doll that they bid on. And filed like an item not described claim and all this stuff. So there are horror stories on eBay too. So a lot of sellers these days, oh, this is really cute on her. It's a little, I think it's probably a little bit, it actually seems to fit her perfect, even though I know there is space. So yeah, it's a little, she's just a chunky monkey, so it kind of works. Oh, that is really cute. Hi. Oh my goodness. Look how cute you are. Aww. Anyway, it's the end of my work week, and it's so nice to just be able to relax a bit, come on, talk to you guys, play with my dolls. I'm still finding life so busy in terms of the hobby, but it's just nice to come on. So anyway, I just wanted to, so I guess eBay, that can be the fairest. So if it's like an auction, then I guess the idea behind why that's fair is that it just becomes the highest selling price that wins out at the end. But so because a lot of people don't, a lot of artists don't like eBay, or they, and they want to try to avoid those fees and avoid some of the challenge with getting scammed on eBay and things like that. So some sellers are now selling more privately, like on Facebook, or they're doing their own auctions and things like that. And the most recent phenomenon I've been noticing a great increase in is this whole silent auction business. And I know that myself and like so many collectors, we don't like the private bidding because I think the challenge with that, whereas with eBay, the bids are visible and you can see, for example, let's say, I'm just going to make this up, but let's say you bid $500 on a doll and then, you kind of know that's the highest bid. So you need to go higher than that in order to bid. But if you're bidding privately or silently, you have no idea what other people are bidding. So for example, let's say you're willing to pay $1,000 for a doll. But the current high bid is at 500. So you go ahead and bid 1,000 when really you could have bid, 501 or 600 and won the doll. So in eBay, you wouldn't have to go to your like highest price. You would go to basically the price that was the highest over the next highest bidder. So, so basically in terms of private auctions, that's kind of how, or private bidding, that's one of the real downfalls for collectors is the lack of visibility and the lack of transparency. I understand from the artist's point of view why they do it, and it's because they want to get, first of all, they can avoid the eBay craziness, and then secondly, it enables them to get the highest price that they can for the doll. So, for example, in some of these, super high-end silicone auctions that we've seen recently, I think one of them, it might have been, I think it was Joanna Kay's baby that she had sold, maybe a little bit ago. I think it ended up going for $25,000. So I wonder what the second highest bid was. I highly doubt the second highest bid was $24,000, although I could be wrong. Maybe it was, but you kind of wonder maybe it was $18,000, or but did the winning bidder end up overbidding by too much, and then consequently, all these prices get driven up really, really high because people are just trying to put out a really high bid. Just hoping that it's just a big enough bid to beat all the other bids, but probably paying more money than they really needed to in the end. So that's the challenge with the private bids, and silent auctions. I have seen artists also do something where, they will post what the current high bid is. Although, there's no proof, I guess, that really is the current high bid. I don't think, I don't know why an artist would be dishonest about that, though. I just, because, let's say they posted that as the high bid, and, nobody actually had bid that. I guess it would be I don't know. It kind of it's rank with problems because let's say, theoretically, I guess an artist could say the highest bid is 1,000 when maybe the highest bid really is 600. They could lie about it, I guess, and then maybe the next person then bids 1,100 when they really could have bid 700, right? So there could be some things like that could happen. Although I like to think most artists in the doll community are nice people and they're not going to, kind of scam anybody or be dishonest that way. So. So anyway, so that's kind of my thoughts around auctions, and I kind of now understand why people do that because it seems like the most fair way to really give everybody a chance. Now, us collectors, myself included, we all prefer a fixed price. I will say, we like to know, okay, how much is that doll? How much do I have to pay for it? And then do I want to buy it? Now, what do you do though if, like I had the situation where I was selling a baby where I had multiple buyers that were interested? so then at that point, it's not a situation of like, okay, well, give me your highest bid. I didn't do that at all. It was more, okay, are you known in the doll community? Can I check your references? Are there artists you've purchased from that I could check a reference? And so, and it did come down to two buyers, and one of them, I checked a reference, and it was negative. It was not a good reference. This buyer had, you know, gotten the doll, looked at it in indoor lighting, complained it didn't look like the pictures, and then later on, took it outdoors and said, okay, now it looks fine. But basically, it seemed like kind of a stressful and not very easy transaction. And this was buying a reborn doll, so I could only imagine with a silicone baby how many flaws and things she would find, because guys, silicone is amazing, but it is not a perfect medium. There are going to be little flaws and little imperfections. And so that was what this particular, buyer didn't know. So it was just, so anyway, this artist, so I had one, okay, so anyway, so that was one buyer that didn't get a great reference. There's another buyer who ended up backing out, but had asked me a lot of questions, like wanted me to go real close up on the silicone for Kylie, and was wondering if different things she was seeing, if that was like a speck of dust. Silicone has little dust things that can be on it. It is very, very common. So anyway, that, things will like stick to it. So that's just extremely common. But yeah, I just wanted to, kind of let you guys know that, it is definitely, yeah, it is definitely not a perfect medium. So sometimes I think people who are inexperienced with silicone, I think as, a first-time buyer of silicone, it can be a little nerve-wracking for a seller to sell to someone who has never seen silicone before or doesn't know what to expect, because their expectations may not be realistic. So I was feeling a little bit nervous, potentially selling to that individual. And then I got, and then my other buyer, who ended up becoming Kylie's mom, and she's now, I think her new name is Lauren, which I think is a great name for that baby. But she had very nice communication. Like she actually, and she mentioned some different artists she had purchased from, and I didn't know her personally, but I remembered seeing some of her posts on a couple of other artists' websites or artist Facebook pages where we both like the same artist. So her name sounded familiar, even though I didn't really know her specifically. So thankfully it was a lovely and smooth transaction. Oh, and that was the other thing too. She was in the U.S. and I'm in the U.S. I also got a fair number of international inquiries, and international is really tough. I know people buy and sell and ship silicone babies internationally all the time. Whenever I ship a doll, I always have to have it fully insured. And when I shipped international, there was not a way to fully insure it for the, multiple thousands without the package costing like $500 to ship. I kid you not, you guys. So the US Postal Service was the best way to ship, but they will only insure up to $650. So because of that, I just don't feel like I feel comfortable selling a silicone baby internationally, even though I know there are a lot of lovely international buyers and people who are experienced in the hobby and collect quite a lot. So I don't know how the artists do it, because I know they all ship worldwide. I just feel nervous doing so, because I want to make sure that the baby is like fully insured, just in case something were to happen. So anyway, that's kind of like those are just some of my thoughts. But I guess I get it now. I understand why artists do auctions, because if I was getting this many inquiries, and it was at least 30 inquiries on Kylie, if I was getting that many, then how many must these artists be getting, if they post a silicone baby for sale? And, and then is it just really like first come, first serve? Is it, do they check a reference? What do we need to do to sort of, I guess, protect ourselves when buying and selling dolls? So just some different questions and food for thought, but I am very thankful to have had a smooth transaction. I know Kylie's new mom, or Lauren's new mom rather, is very happy with her, and I'm just very glad that she made it safely. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me zoom in on sweet Ellia's face just so you guys can take a quick peek at her. her because she is adorable. And thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.